joining me is Vishnu Jain, the man who represented this entire case in the Allahabad High Court. And thank you very much, Vishnu Jain, for joining me on the News Hour tonight. Vishnu Jain, are we at a crossroads in this case with the declaration by the Allahabad High Court today as a disputed structure reference to the Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal, and on 27th of February calling it an alleged masjid? Where does this leave this case in terms of how you see it today? Advantage Hindu side or advantage Muslim side?
Navika, according to me, that it's not a matter of advantage for Hindu side or Muslim side. It's a judicial practice that when any matter is sub judice before the honorable court, either of the parties' claim cannot be believed by the honorable court when the matter is in the process of being adjudicated by the honorable court. So therefore, the terminology, the word which is used is disputed structure, because as of now, the honorable court cannot give a verdict or a finding that it's a mosque in the eyes of law, or the High Court cannot say that it's a Haria temple in the eyes of law. In Ram Mandir case also, when the matter was pending before the lower court, High Court and the Supreme Court, all along the word disputed structure was used in all the legal parlance. So therefore, it's not an issue of advantage or disadvantage. We can sit in the studio and we can have our private conversations and call it as a Haria temple or as a Jami Masjid. But in the legal practice, in legal parlance, till the time the matter is sub judice before the honorable court, it will be termed as an alleged mosque or a disputed structure.
But let me ask you, many people quote the Places of Worship Act of 1991, and it is an admitted fact that in 1947 this structure was a masjid, the Jama Masjid was a masjid, and prayers have been offered there since 1947. Where does that leave the claim of the Hindu side?
No, Navika, it's not an admitted fact. It's a very disputed fact. Let me tell you that we also have a counterclaim that we were worshipping in the premises in question as late as 2013. Until 2013, in the outer area of the so-called alleged mosque, the puja was going on in the well. And inside the mosque also there was puja which was going on. So that is also a disputed question of fact which will be adjudicated by the honorable court when the matter will be finally heard. So this does not give any advantage, and I completely dispute this point that till 1947 or after 1947 a namaz was being offered. That is point number one. The second aspect is, by offering namaz in any place, the place does not get the characteristics of a mosque. To get a characteristic of a mosque, you have to show before the court and you have to establish in the court of law that this is a mosque which is established without demolishing any structure. This is a mosque which has been done as a valid waqf. Until unless you satisfy these two criteria, it cannot be a valid mosque only because you offer namaz there.
Well, Vishnu Jain ji, I want to ask you, you have reposted on X today a video of your father and co-petitioner senior advocate Hari Shankar Jain saying जितने मंदिरों को तोड़ के मस्जिद बनाई गई हैं वो सारे मंदिरों को वापस लेंगे. I want to ask you, is this based on a premise of law, or is this an emotional appeal in the court?
No, it's definitely based on premise of law, because the Hindu Shastric niyam is that you cannot, by demolishing a temple, the existence of the deity does not cease. When the matter was before the Honorable Supreme Court also in Ram Mandir case, the Honorable Supreme Court has also said that by demolishing an idol, the legal entity of an idol does not cease. The legal entity of a temple does not cease. Once a temple, always a temple is a sound judicial principle. So therefore, and you cannot build a mosque after demolishing a Hindu temple. No scholar on your channel or anywhere can say that I can build a mosque after demolishing a Hindu temple. So this is not an emotional appeal. It's a legal appeal, and it's a legal duty as a lawyer that if we are having proofs and evidences that temples have been demolished and mosques have been constructed, it's a legal duty to get restored. It's a legal duty to reclaim it. And let me tell you, Navika, what is happening in Gyanvapi? Is it not our legal duty to get worshipped to worship our Shivling? Is it not our legal duty to find the truth? That whether it's a Shivling or a fountain, for that ASI survey is required. Is it not our legal duty to find that what's happening in Mathura, the pious land of Yogeshwar, Sri Krishna, we should worship there? Is it not our legal duty to go and inspect what's happening in Bhoshala? So these are all Shastrik Niyam, and on that basis of Shastrik Niyam, my senior Mr. Harishankar Jain has made these statements, and I support and I stand with this statement.
Well, in the end, I just want to ask you, Vishnu Jain, while you say it is your duty to find the truth and you've quoted several reasons for it, let me ask you the other side and the other side of this debate, where people say you and your father alone are petitioners in about 110 such cases and disputes. Where will this end? Isn't it our duty also to maintain communal harmony and a society that is not so fractured? How would you respond to them tonight?
See, Navika, I want to ask a question. This argument of communal harmony was raised so far as Ram Mandir was also concerned. If Ram Mandir had to be solved by communal harmony, then there should have been no Pran Pratishtha of Ram Lalla. People were making an argument at that point of time also. कि hospital बना लेते हैं, let's have a college there, let's talk about development. Today, 16 crore people have took darshan of Ram Lalla. And let me tell you, when the Gyanvapi will be freed from the clutches of this invasion, the number will be triple when people will do darshan there. So it's the sentiments, the emotions, the Shastrik law which I am representing today. It's not just matter of Vishnu Shankar Jain or Hari Shankar Jain. It's a cry of the entire society. And Navika, let me tell you, recently this movie has come, Chhava. Then this question must have been asked to Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj also, that why are you fighting with Aurangzeb? There's no need to fight. Then the question must be asked that why did you fight for this freedom? Why did you not accept British rule? Why did we fight for freedom? And this is a fight for freedom. Freedom for all the temples. And then why we are fighting for freedom of temples under the clutches of the government? There's no need to fight. Let there be communal harmony and let the atrocities go on. Navika, this cannot be the healthy proposition of law in any healthy democracy or in any judicial setup. If a wrong has been done, a society, a civilization has a right for justice.
Well, we leave it at that. What happens in the court is another legal matter, another date, 10th of March. Well, we'll be back with Vishnu Jain on the 10th of March. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight.